What is going on, everybody? And we are here for our post-game show where the Carolina Panthers came out victorious today, 22-14, pardon me, to the New Orleans Saints. They pulled it out today, and Chris, that was a pretty impressive performance today by that Panthers defense.
Yes, it was, and you guys saw me drinking something to drink as we started because I'm thirsty, and this is our first post-game show with a completely different setup.
Yes.
So be forgiving because as we get started here, I think about some videos that I forgot to load up for you guys to see. But you know what? We think that you're the lucky charm.
I guess so.
Right? Your first day.
I mean, good vibes. You know, I was being positive and optimistic during the pregame show. Some of these people who were in the comments were a little too negative for our liking, I would say. But, you know, you have to be optimistic. And we were able to pull it out today. It was a pretty impressive performance by the Panthers, I would say.
Yes, I was happy. So there's lots to talk about from this game today. We want to hear your comments. I saw some comments that were coming. So you know the format. We're going to share some stats, go over some interviews. I had a chance to talk with J.C. Horn.
Okay.
Also had a chance to talk with Gucci Man, a.k.a. Laviska Chenault Jr. He was dressed.
No,
he was in Louis Vuitton. I forget what he was in.
Well, he had a gold chain with it.
Shows you how cool I am. I don't remember the brands, but I know it looked expensive.
But regardless, he was all dripped out.
Yeah, he was.
And he deserved it after that 67-yard touchdown that he had in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was a heck of a play there.
Baker Mayfield should be buying him dinner because
he should.
That helped his stats quite a bit today.
Made it look a little inflated, but I mean, it was still a great play on the part of Laviska Chenault.
All right, let me try to reference my notes here because I don't even remember the order of things that I want to talk about today. Do you remember off the top of your head?
So much that happened, really.
All right.
I mean, where do we even begin? I mean,
I got a few notes here, but I'm just going to start with going over the stats, right? I have Baker Mayfield passing as one of my notes here. All right, let me bring it up on the screen and share with you guys. Baker Mayfield and his performance today. Baker Mayfield, 12 of 25. 170 yards, 6.8 yard average. He did have a touchdown. His quarterback rating was 83%. All right, so I'm going to take this one if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Baker Mayfield, been asked about my opinion of guys, and I like to say, you know, first week, no, I wasn't ready to give an opinion. There's only been one game, and I didn't study him like while he was in Cleveland to say, have an opinion from there. Second game, started to get an opinion up in New York. I'm like, I don't know about this guy. And not in terms of like he's terrible, but like I don't know what he can do for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Today, third game, all right, so I'm willing to talk more strongly about my opinion of Baker Mayfield. I think he's just an okay quarterback.
Just okay?
I think he's just okay. And I think Ben McAdoo is going to have to help him out a little bit. I don't, right now at this point, week 3, see him as a long-term solution. I know a lot of people were thinking that this is a one-year tryout. Maybe he can just help us for 1 year. And I will say this. He has been better than Sam Darnold.
He has.
In the sense of
he's taking care of the football. I mean, that's the first thing. I mean, he only has 1 interception on the year.
Right.
But, you know, the passing touchdowns aren't anything to be too excited about.
Right.
But, I mean, he's been serviceable up to this point, but I think we're still expecting more.
Right.
Out of not just him, but everybody on the offense in general, really. We're just expecting more, and we want to see some more explosive plays because they have the talent. They have the pieces. It's just a matter of actually using it to your advantage.
Right. So that's my spiel on Baker Mayfield. Well,
it's still a work in progress.
Well, yeah.
Just like with the rest of the team, a work in progress.
Yeah, we'll continue to move along here because I want to get to your comments, so continue to leave your comments. Let's talk about the receiving yards today. And before I leave this on the screen too much, last week in New York, when Shi Smith missed those passes or had some drops, it was like, well, hey, coach, why don't you have more guys out there? And I said, you know what, it doesn't matter about the more guys out there. The quarterback doesn't have time to throw, and if he's going to be inaccurate. Mr. Laviska's today trying to test that theory, but here's why he did good today. Number one, he's excellent in running after he catches the ball. And the passes that Baker threw to him were really short, dink-dunk passes. So it almost seemed like, oh, that's the key, get the other guy. No, that wasn't the key, but Laviska's did do great today. Great runner after the catch, but Baker still needs to do better. But let me go ahead and show these stats with you on the receivers. Laviska Chenault Jr., 2 catches, 90 yards, including that 67-yarder. And then something that I'm going to let you take over here for a second here because you want to talk about Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore's targets?
Well, really, for me, looking at DJ Moore, one reception for 2 yards. I mean, I don't know if that's a testament to how well Marshawn Lattimore played him today.
Right.
But, this was the conversation that we had pregame with, the two guys that we had on our show today. It was just trying to get DJ Moore more involved in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an effort to, get him more involved by not necessarily throwing him the ball, but actually doing some reverse sweeps and some touch passes. It wasn't really working, but I mean, they were trying to diversify the playbook for him in terms of actually getting some more opportunities. But that to me was a little surprising that he only had one catch today.
Mm-hmm.
Just one catch. And then Robbie Anderson, one catch for 14 yards. And those are supposed to be your two top receivers on this team. So it's a question of, are they getting the opportunities or are they not taking advantage of the opportunities that they're given to them? I mean, that's kind of a tricky balancing act that I can't really have an answer for yet because we're still pretty early on in the season.
Right.
But, it can be a little bit of both, and two things can be true at the same time. Not taking advantage of the opportunities and then not getting enough opportunities to be able to make plays.
Right. Okay. So let's go back to the receivers, all right? So I did have a chance. Took a long time because, when you're dressed that fly as he was.
And when you have a game like that, too.
A lot of people want it.
Right?
So we had to wait for him to go talk to Fox and other things and his teammates. But
all the big guns, all the big name players, right?
And then eventually the local media had a chance to talk to him. So I'm going to play for you the entire video, yes, here on Charlotte Vibe, exclusive. I won't say exclusive, but, you heard it first.
This is exclusive as you can get, right?
Yeah.
Under the circumstances.
Locker room conversation with Laviska Chenault. Let me go ahead and load it up and allow everyone to enjoy it. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Before 2 weeks got active today, what was the difference that got you being active?
What was the difference?
Yeah.
Just, learning the playbook. That was number one.
How's it feel to come out and make an instant impact?
Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I haven't found the end zone, and it's been a minute. Let's just say that. It felt great.
Take us through that play that got you there.
So I had a flat. I saw the coverages. It was something funky, but I knew I was by myself, so I squared up the ball, and after that, go find the end zone.
Laviska, 103 yards of offense by yourself immediately in response to Mark Ingram's touchdown. It pretty much kind of gave you guys the cushion that you needed because it got a little bit closer. It was still over 12 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see on that big 67-yard run?
I saw green. I saw an opportunity that had to be snatched away by me. So, felt good. Like I'm gonna keep saying, it felt so good.
How frustrating was the last few weeks trying to pick up the offense quickly, but not being able to play the last couple?
Oh, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating knowing what I can bring to the table. It's hard to not be able to do what you love to do. So.
Is this scratching the surface of
Most
your
definitely.
involvement, given I don't know how many plays you have, how many packages is there going to be more, you think, for you?
I can imagine. I can imagine. Most definitely.
Have you ever had a first game with a team like this before?
What do you mean by that?
Like debut. The debut. Has your debut been?
I mean, I can go back to college. Like, first time I touched the ball was off of a fumble on punt return, and I returned it. That's probably the closest.
What's your mindset after you get a hit? When you catch the ball, what's your mindset?
How tough can you be?
How tough can you be?
How tough can you be?
Longtime columnist Scott Fowler tweeted that your catch was possibly the greatest first catch ever for a player in Panthers history. What does that mean to you?
I mean, I guess that means a lot. I bring a lot of skill to this, to the team, and when I'm able to be free and go play, that's what you'll get.
When were you told you were going to be activated for this week?
Probably early in the week. I can't remember the exact day, but it was early in the week.
And you knew you were going to be on
kickoff
pretty early on.
Yeah. I knew I was going to be on kickoff return. Yeah.
When the offense is struggling and you have a play like yours, what does that do for you guys moving forward?
It's the energy, things going our way. Those type of things hypes up the other guys on the team. So when I'm able to make an impact like that, I'm all aboard. I'm all for it.
What do you think Panthers fans and people here at Bank of America Stadium found out about Laviska Chenault today?
Oh, that he's tough. He's a dog, like I've been saying.
Somebody famously, I'm sorry, for you. Somebody famously say you look good, you play good. And I heard some of your teammates talking about your dress today. What went into this outfit?
Man, I was just trying to think. I mean, what can I wear the first game, my first day out type of thing. So, I mean, it's a Louis fit. You know what they say about the black forces. I mean, it's go time.
So there you go. I told you I'm not that cool. I can't remember. He said it was Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sometimes when I'm talking to these guys, they catch me off. I'll never forget when I was in Spartanburg, I asked Baker Mayfield about his tweeting with the DBs, and he was like, you know, you kill a snake by going straight for the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. And they just looked at me. Talking to Chenault, he was just like, you know, go time, dog. Just, you know, give me these one words and
I
just
mean,
kind of
when
look
they
at
asked him, like, when he caught the ball, like, what was his mentality? And I was like, well, obviously you want to score. And I bet you that was the same thing that was going through his head, like, when he heard that question. Score the dang ball, get a touchdown. And that was what he was able to do.
You didn't like my question? That was my question.
That was your question?
No,
I didn't
sometimes
even
guys
know,
go
but
into their
still.
mindset to say, like, I'm trying to, they'll tell you what their mindset
Yeah.
is when they catch the ball. And that's what I was trying to see if he would do, is get me a little bit more into his mindset about, like, you
His
can't tackle.
mentality.
Yeah, right.
Definitely his mentality when it comes to that.
But great time talking with Chenault there, and looking forward to talking to him some more. Hoping that the line and Ben McAdoo can get him some better situations. Actually, the entire team, like you touched on with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Let's go over the rushing stats real quick, and then we'll talk about the defensive side. Christian McCaffrey, pretty solid game today. 25 carries, 108 yards.
He did his job.
He did his job.
He definitely did.
Chuba Hubbard was looking like he still wants to get a job.
Yeah.
So even though he only had 3 carries, he had an 8.3 yard average. DJ Moore with 2 carries, and again, I don't think that's working anymore for DJ Moore. I mean, 13 yards isn't bad, but I'm starting to kind of cringe when I see them trying to get him the ball.
Well, I think part of it too is just every time he tries to get the ball, the blocking's just not set up in his favor. So I think that's another one of those situations where, do we really want to keep moving forward with that kind of play call if you're only going to get like 4 yards out of it?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to the talk about our defense, how well they did. And we're going to do that by showing you the Saints stats. They did a good job of holding Alvin Kamara in check today. 15 carries, 61 yards.
It felt like 15 yards. I mean, he was non-existent for the most part of the game today, for the most part.
A 4.1 yard average. Ingram had a 3.6. Overall, the team had less than 100 yards rushing today. Now, let's talk about the receiving. They did get us a little bit, and I'll let you take this one, Andre, about the receiving in terms of our defensive pass defense. I said it backwards, our pass defense.
Well, and our pass defense is probably one of the focal points of what we do. I mean, we have some really good young corners with J.C. Horn, C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson. But you look at some of the numbers here, Chris Olave and Traquan Smith. I mean, they just tore everything up today. And part of it, too, was a little overinflated with how they played in the fourth quarter, catching back. But, I mean, they did a good job on Thomas and Jarvis Landry. But those 2 guys, Olave and Smith, really had a good game today for them.
Yeah, you see here on the stats, both of those guys had about a 50-yard completion. Add that together. Quick math, that's 100 yards. I think Jameis had, did I put it up here? I didn't put it up here. Jameis had, I think, 353.
353.
So take that 100 yards away. Not that I'm trying to take it away from them, but just saying how that helped inflate their numbers. But I think, you know, they did a decent job, unfortunately, against us in passing the ball today. Got a chance on the defensive side to talk with J.C. Horn. Here you go.
However it happened, whatever way, we just happy to win. However it happened, whatever way, we just happy to get in the win column.
Turnovers are something you guys hadn't had all season. You got some today. You were part of it. Talk about how that helps this defense today with those turnovers.
Turnovers, that's a big category in the game. You know, you win a turnover battle, most of the time you're going to win the game. So it was a big emphasis on that this week, and we were able to go out and do that.
And J.C. Horn was a part of that. I don't know if I can remember off the top of my head. I got you here to help me. But we had let's talk about some highlights today. We had a blocked field goal attempt, trying to keep the shutout alive. We had a batted ball by J.C. that was
picked off by Derek Brown.
And then we had a fumble recovery by Marquise Haynes, which led to 6 points. So there were some big plays, some good things happening today that hadn't happened all season.
Yeah, the momentum really spurred after that fumble recovery by Marquise Haynes. That really opened up the game for Carolina because it was just really just 0-0 at that point, and then after they were able to get that play, it really opened up the game for them.
Yeah. All right, so we've held you hostage long enough. The comments. We're gonna jump into the comments. And how you feeling? I think we might can go through them.
Yeah,
all right. It's good
absolutely.
weather out here. We got our
it's
first.
relatively comfortable. Not as windy as it was earlier today, which is good. So yeah, pretty comfortable outside right now.
Looks like we got some spam out there.
Oh boy.
Some spam. Yeah, we got some spam out
Good
there.
bit of it right there.
All right, so let's roll. And I'm going to promise that we're going to go through all the comments today. I want to get home to the wife and kids, but we won. We got a job to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
We're going to get it done.
And for that, I'm going to ask right now, because we haven't asked. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Help us grow. We're at over 5,000. We want to get to 6,000 now. So go ahead and hit
to 10,000. Well,
and then 10,000.
Is that a little aspirational? Too aspirational? Or?
We have aspirations here.
Okay.
We have aspirations.
So yeah, let's keep pumping that number up. Subscribe and definitely comment, because we want to read your comments and see what y'all have to say, because this is an exciting win and we want to be able to foster that energy that we're feeling right now.
You got it. All right. So let's go ahead and run through these comments. Donna B, Alexa, place. You almost got me there. Alexa, place, set it off by Booth. Let's see if it happens. But yeah, Donna, I really like that. Thank you so much.
That was pretty funny.
Sweet Caroline. Monday, Victory Monday. Yeah, we haven't had so she's talking about the shirts. I used to have Victory Monday shirts that I sold as a way to help, pay for the company here. Don't do them anymore, but yes. Donna, break out your victory. I might wear it tomorrow during the show.
You might have to.
The Victory Monday.
This is the first time we've had one in, 10 games?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Ali Broderick, what's going on? Appreciate you welcoming us, and I'm joined along here with Andres. You guys got to start showing Andres some of the love as well.
Represent, right?
Good win for the defense. Offense still not in sync.
That is true.
Donald Duck, we did it. Thank you. I was already done, but throughout the game, and beating a division rival brought it back for me. Keep pounding till I die. One thing that we didn't touch on, I didn't watch the Baker Mayfield press conference. Did you watch it?
I watched little bits and pieces.
All right. So in a minute, I'm going to bring you back to talking about that, because we didn't comment about any of the comments from Baker. But about this right here, being a division opponent, it was funny because Matt Rule talked about, and I get it. I'm not mad at him for this, because part of being a coach is the psychological stuff that you have to do. He's like, I'm not going to talk about we haven't won in forever. I get it. He's trying to psychologically just throw that out.
Yeah.
And he said, we're 1-0 in our division. It's great. It's like, hey, that is a good way to look at it. We are now 1-0 in the division. And if you could, Andre, quickly, because I forgot to talk about Baker, what was some highlights from his press conference?
So pretty much he was just emphasizing, because a lot of the questions that he was getting was asking about why the offense was still not in rhythm, why the timing issues were still off. And of course, with him being on the team for 2 months, it's understandable that he's still going to have moments where, you'll have some missed throws or some routes not being run the right way. So again, it's just a matter of, just taking a look at the tape, seeing what we need to do better. Obviously, one of the things that he talked about was the third down conversions, and that's still something that they need to address. They were 4 of 14 on third down or something like that today, which is still not to where it needs to be. So a lot of it,
math puts us at about 30-something%.
Yeah,
low 30s.
just about. But a lot of it was just emphasizing that there is still work that they need to do as a group. And I think he's committed to doing everything that he can within his power to make sure that he gets his job and part of his end of the bargain taken care of.
In other words, he got to get better.
Got to get better.
He needs to get better.
And you'll get better by getting more reps and being more comfortable with the people who are around you.
What's going on, Rodney? Thank you for joining us. Anthony Rochelle, yes, finally a win today.
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers.
And 4 on that one.
Yes, the 12th man, thanks you. C-Dog, we do love your comments and feedback. But
we like the
try
passion.
To keep it PG-13.
We like the passion.
Because of the family watching, and I like to keep things general. But yes, Baker Mayfield, you don't like him. Okay, that's cool. But again, language, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read this one.
Yeah, Baker is overcompensating for those batted balls and is now overthrowing receivers. And you speak about the psychological thing too. Do you think that's kind of getting to him in a sense?
The batted ball?
Yeah, the batted balls, and having that happen every so often with him.
I like the question. That's intriguing to think about in that manner that he's.
Because that interception that he had against the Browns when he had Shi Smith open, he overthrew him because those 2 plays he had prior, they were batted passes on consecutive plays. So do you think that's kind of in his thought process a little bit?
I'd be willing to give it maybe a 15% of his problem. 15. Yeah. Because I mean, who knows what's going on? I'm kind of getting a little, I won't say disgusted, but like upset with Baker at this point. But we'll see. Hello, Chris. Hope there is hope for this season. What's up, Anthony Rochelle?
Baker ain't getting it. This is Rodney W. giving him 3 games, and he hasn't really produced yet. I still want to give it to him that he hasn't turned the ball over much so, and that's something that really has been a plus with him.
Right.
He's been taking care of the ball.
Yeah, let's remember what we had in Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Do I want to remember that?
Well, for the sake of being happier with Baker, yes.
Yeah. And then we got Donald Duck again. Keep up the content. I will say and believe 2 heads are better than 1. Hope to see more content from you and Andre, and I know that is something that we'll be continuing to do here pretty soon. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in, Donald Duck.
Baker is the exact kind of regular guy that Matt Rule has always wanted at quarterback. Thank you, William. I can't say your last name, but thank you, William. All right. So then we had some spam jumping in here. We'll skip over that. Baker fits Rule's culture or brand, not a superstar, but a game manager.
Is that fair to say, though? Game manager? Or do we still have more time before we can make that judgment on him?
I would say not yet a game manager because he still is not making enough throws that he should make. You know, if he's not a superstar, then you got to say, well, he's not going to make all the throws, right? So, okay, I take that into consideration. But for most of your passes to be successful that are only like 5-10 yards, probably less than that. I give him credit because I think his average in that first half maybe was around 4.7. Let me see. I'm going to look it up really quickly.
Which is relatively low.
It was pretty bad. I'm going to see if I can quickly bring up his stats from the first half.
Because, I mean, he finished the game under 50. What was it? 50%?
First half, Baker Mayfield averaged 6.3. Okay, he was 7 of 13. Man, that seems nice. Am I clicking on the right thing? I guess so.
No, that's right.
He was 6.3, passer rating of 61. Second half, numbers jumped up a lot. Completions weren't much better, but his average jumped up to 25.2.
Well, part of it too is because of that Chenault touchdown too. That makes that number look a little bit more inflated than it actually was. Because it was just like a 2-yard pass, and then boom, there you go. It was a touchdown right after that.
Hey, listen to Donald Duck. He says hit the like button, okay? Listen, the reason I ask for subscriptions and likes, it helps me to get these players and these coaches. You saw there, had Laviska. Guy had a standout game then. I was able to have front and center to talk to him, and also got the chance to talk to J.C. Horner, which was, again, was a part of that turnover. So good deal there. All right.
How do you even pronounce that? Hamstick?
Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll roll with that. Hamtastic.
Yeah.
Can we ask Coach, why does this organization have that stigma that we will settle versus step on necks? So I guess going for the throat kind of analogy in a way.
That dog, some of you hear players talk about. Well, I mean, I don't want to. When I answer questions, please don't think that I'm giving an excuse. I have to answer the question. It's execution.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you're not winning, how can you step on somebody's neck? Right? Yeah, I mean, you're trying to catch up, or you're trying to tie the game, or we're losing games, so you cannot have that, I'm going to make you feel humiliated that you're out here playing today. So first, even get there, first we have to start winning games, and then we can start maybe pounding on people, but we're not even winning enough to do that. So it's a process.
For that to even be justifiable too, so.
Yeah, let's see.
It's a work in progress, and I've been saying that a lot throughout this broadcast, but it is building blocks that we have to continue to keep going at here.
Locks, man, I'm going to put you in timeout, man. Act right up in here, but I always appreciate you. I feel Rule seemed despondent at the presser. I think he knows the offense is not legit and that we can't win the rest of these games like this. So one thing that Rule did that I noticed that he was saying today was wanting to look at tape before he went to be critical of guys. And I get that because, hey, media, we wait for these coaches and players to say something and be like, I got you. And I know last year, I forget who it was, that he said something on a Sunday and he had to, walk it back on Monday. So he's not one to be too critical of things, but I think it's easy to see that the offense needs to be worked on.
You don't have to know football to know that there's a lot of work that still needs to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the first half, I mean, there were, especially in the first quarter, there was just a lot of plays where, batted passes, balls thrown out of bounds. I mean, there's still a lot that has to be done for it to be to where they want it to be.
And look, we forgot about paying attention to our positioning on screen.
Right.
So come on over here. I'm going to let you read this because we are personal people. We have
absolutely.
We like to have fun with you guys. So I'm going to let you take
B.
that.
Evans, man, look at that, man. That really makes me feel good. Andre got the Lucky Charms hair, brought us a dove, feels good. And I was literally telling him earlier in the broadcast and early this morning, hey, if I get the Lucky Charm and we, get winning here, we start this winning streak, you kind of have to keep me around, you would think, right?
Yes. All right.
But yeah, it does feel good that we got the win today, though. So thank you for commenting, Mr. Evans.
It was once. I'm not sure what this comment is. You might have to type
completions, like 1 of 6 before the fourth quarter for Baker.
He wasn't
Maybe.
1 of 6. Nah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
1 of 6 on something. Hey, sir, if you don't mind leaving a more full comment here.
Care to elaborate on that? That would be.
I'd love to see PJ, Richard Elmore.
PJ Walker?
Oh, you would love to see PJ? I saw him in the locker room today.
I mean,
no, you don't want to see PJ Walker, man. Like,
the only time you want to see him is in the preseason. And that's about it.
What are your thoughts on PJ Walker? I'll let you take that one.
He's a solid backup.
A solid backup? You can have your opinion. We can agree to disagree.
But that's all he'll be, is a backup. I mean, we'll just leave it at that. Solid backup. I don't want to elaborate too much on that.
Donna's always helping support, hitting the likes.
Yes.
Please hit the like, hit the subscribe button.
Appreciate the support.
We are here working hard. Loving it, though.
Yeah.
You loving it?
I'm loving it. Oh, it's been great. It's been fast moving, too. I was literally telling him about this earlier. It has been a quick moving day today. I mean, I've been on my toes, on Twitter, everywhere. I mean, there was no downtime at all. It was awesome.
Did you eat, though? You ate well?
I did eat.
Okay.
Had some Krispy Kreme donuts, some steaks. But yeah, they took care of us up there in the press box. So
they do.
Like they always do, right? So Richard Elmore, I think Sam might get a chance to get his job back. And I've been seeing a lot of that on Twitter from various people.
I'll let you take this one.
I don't want to entertain that thought. I mean, we had a whole season with him last year, but albeit he did have a couple games where he was out due to injuries. But I think we kind of already know the verdict on Sam Darnold. I mean, he had a pretty good stretch to start out, starting 3-0. But I mean, the true him kind of came out when a lot of the stuff started to shift back onto him, and he had to carry the offense. And when that is something that he has to do, he's just not that guy where you could put a team on the back and say, hey, lead us down the field. He's more of a system kind of guy more than anything else.
Baker has gone from gunslinger to 0 interceptions.
His personality.
He is playing outside his personality.
Is he still doing those progressive commercials?
He is not doing any commercials right now.
I think that's good. I think
so when
we need him to be more focused.
This quoted as telling a QB he doesn't want him to be a leader. That means he wants a guy that can just manage the game. It's saying Frankie Louisville, another couple of games away from Pro Bowl consideration, overreaction.
I don't think it's an overreaction. I mean, he's played well up to this point. I mean, last week against the Giants, he had 4 tackles for loss. And, he's one of those guys who, wasn't he like a question of whether or not he was going to make the roster last year?
Yeah.
And then he made the roster, and he's just been phenomenal for us ever since he's been here. So he's one of those guys who always plays with a chip on their shoulder and is always hungry.
So I say not on the Pro Bowl yet. Looking at his stats today, he played a solid game.
He
5
really
tackles.
did, yeah.
4 of them were solos. He didn't have any sacks. He didn't have any tackles for loss, but he played a solid game. So being a new guy, to me, I'm new in terms of his elevated level of play.
Yeah.
I feel like it just needs to be sustained a little bit more before you can get on
have
that bandwagon.
Consistency.
Yeah. But hey, we have a tough stretch coming up. Cardinals, Rams. Cardinals, San Fran,
then Rams.
and Rams.
Yeah.
Right? And then one more?
I think it's Tampa Bay after that.
Then Tampa Bay. So if you want to, be cheering for Frankie, and I do, look at this next stretch here to see how he plays through them. If he's able to have some games, obviously every game he's not going to have 4 tackles for a loss like he did up in New York. But if he continues to play solid through that stretch, and absolutely this, then you can start to put this guy as a rising player and maybe some Pro Bowl consideration. Let's keep it going. Yeah, Locks, I see your comments, man, but you gotta keep them good, and then I bring you back on here. Let's see. Vincent, what's going on? Appreciate you.
Vincent, how you doing, man?
Appreciate you joining. Yeah, Locks, we're gonna put you in timeout.
1 of 6 on third down. That was what he was referencing.
1 of 6 on third downs.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go ahead and look at the.
Because it was 4 of 14, I believe. That was the
full
final
game,
number for third down conversions today.
Full game, third down. Where is it at quickly on this sheet? Probably on a different screen that I'm not going to be quickly to go
Team
to.
stats? Go under team stats.
Look at this guy.
Here.
Team stats. Yeah. Nah, we need them game by game, though. All right, so I'm going to skip that and just go based off what you said. If we were 1 for 6 before the fourth, yeah, it's still a problem.
That's putrid. That really is putrid.
It's still a problem.
That is not acceptable by any means necessary. If you want to be consistently winning, you can't be 1 of 6 on third down. I don't know if that was for the whole game or for just the third quarter, heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But that has to be a point of emphasis coming into this week's practice. If you can't convert third downs, which is your money down, where your guys have to be on the money, if they can't do that, then you really don't have any hope coming up over these next 3 games, because these are 3 teams coming up where you have to be on your A game. You have to perform in order to beat these guys coming up here soon.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. How we doing? Let's see, on time. We're doing good on time, and we're doing good on the comments. So, told you we're going to stay committed to being on here for you guys today.
Because you take time to comment, and we're going to take time out of our days too to make sure that your comments are read. So that is something what we do.
Well said.
Absolutely.
Keep pounding Panthers underground West.
Yes, sir. You know it. Is that Donald Duck today?
Wild Rule said we would see more TMJ and Higgins, but we ain't see them. Because you ain't look on the – it was right here, man. Right, look. They were right there. I saw them.
Right down over there.
How could you not have seen Higgins and well, I mean –
they weren't in the game, but they were on the sideline.
Terrace had on the sweats, man, with the Panthers logo.
Yeah, he wasn't even active for today's game, was he?
No, he wasn't active. He had on the sweats. You know, he didn't say that we were going to see them. He said that he would like to see
implement them more.
Yeah, like
to some capacity.
Right, and then he specifically said that he would like to see at least one more guy really get into the mix, and that's what we saw.
And it turned
today.
out to be Chenault.
And it was Chenault.
Yeah.
You know, Smith was in there as usual, but the new guy that got a lot of plays was Chenault. So in that regards, he covered his butt in what he was saying. Like, yeah, I want to see more guys get involved, but certainly want to see at least one more guy get into the rotation.
Definitely Higgins, though, because that connection that you had with Baker Mayfield back in Cleveland, that's valuable.
Yeah.
You have to use that to your advantage. If you bring somebody in, you want to play him, right? I mean, that's the whole point of why you decided to bring him in free agency.
But that could be a result of, like, who else was around Higgins in Cleveland that was able to
Jarvis
get those?
Landry, OBJ, I believe, right? Those 2 receivers.
But he certainly doesn't appear to be anywhere near on the depth chart of getting those reps.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know. I don't feel like it's just a guy that you have to get Baker as a target more so than getting Baker just better.
But there is that argument of, like, why else would you have brought him in then?
Yeah.
From that standpoint,
you
have to at least give him something, you would think.
He had some preseason catches.
Yeah. Didn't he have a touchdown?
Yeah.
I want to say
I think
against
so.
Buffalo.
I think so.
If my lovely memory serves me well.
Don't forget, Luvu caused that forced fumble, did he?
He did, and then Marquise Haynes recovered it.
Boom. I'm not perfect.
Yeah. I'm not perfect either, because I think on the tweet that I had on the Charlotte Vibe, I accidentally put in Frankie Luvu. On the picture, it was Marquise Haynes, and somebody called me out for it, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I wish we had an edit button on Twitter, but hey.
They got you?
They got me, man. It was a noob rookie mistake. So.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence. But hey, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong there. So
that's right. We're humans.
We are humans.
With a great job.
With a great job.
So after today's game, what's your ranking of order for wide receivers in the depth
that's
chart?
A good question, Donald Duck. I like this kind of question.
Go ahead and take it. I'm going to step off camera and give me something to drink.
Yeah. So obviously you're going to have DJ Moore, number 1. He is your number one guy, clear and undisputed number one. I would say you would have Robbie as number 2. Number 3, it could be like in the slot position. It could be a toss-up between Shi Smith and Laviska Chenault. And I would think you would have to give the edge to Laviska Chenault just based on how he played today. But it's going to be, a toss-up between, him and Shi Smith for that 3rd spot. And then you'll have Rashard Higgins and then Terrence Marshall, who really is kind of just the odd man out.
So I'm gonna play, I guess it's called devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Let's try to read a little bit more into Donald Beck's question.
Good question, by the way.
So
I love this question.
Why give DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson 1 and 2 when on a day like today they had 1 catch apiece?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe do you readjust that, saying like, yeah, DJ Moore is a capable number 1.
Yeah.
But as we're playing today or the season, is DJ Moore really is he a number 1 in that regard?
That's a very good question.
That's my devil's advocate moment.
And
trying to work for you, Donald.
Yeah, and the thing is too, your performance needs to be reflective of where you are in the depth chart. And right now, I think for Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore, they got to get going here. I mean, we're starting to get to the point in the season where they have to start stepping up and be big pieces of the offense. And, whether it's getting more opportunities or taking advantage of the opportunities that they have to start playing better. And I think that's collectively the whole situation with the offense as well.
I think it was right about here. Robbie Anderson had a ball that he didn't catch. It was a tough catch.
It was
I'm not sure he would have
pass,
stayed
right?
in bounds. For Baker today, yes. Anything more than 5 yards was deep.
This guy got some jokes, man. He's pretty funny if you haven't noticed already.
He totally whiffed on even touching that ball.
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson did. And then there was another play for me that I saw DJ Moore. Now, in the press box, we don't get to see the TV like you guys do at home and see all these replays.
Yep.
I feel like DJ Moore dropped the ball today doing an out.
Yeah, he had a couple drops today.
So that doesn't help you when you're starting to get some opportunities and then you're dropping the ball. If you could remember, step on up with me a little bit here so we stay at the same
moving
plane.
around too.
Moving around. We both start to move
here,
around. Let's see. You guys are acting up today.
Feisty here.
It's all right.
Sunday after a win, I must say.
What were the distances on 3rd down? CMC had a 40-yard run call back. We had to stay ahead of it.
Oh, when did that happen?
So
it was a holding call, wasn't it? In the fourth
was
quarter,
it,
I want to say. I think it was on Icky.
Yeah, I think it was Icky.
Yeah, because he had that run because he cut back and then he just kept on going, and then everybody knew that the play was coming back because it was a holding call. So, I mean.
Yeah, the distances, I hope that you think that this broadcast looks professional and high quality because we put a lot of effort into it. Unfortunately, we don't have the guys in the truck that you end up talking about on the national broadcast with a little thing in our ear to feed us stats. So that question about all the distances.
We just have our brains, and that's about it.
I do not know, but I feel like they were manageable. I don't feel like they were 3rd and 9s every time.
I mean, there were some 3rd and 10s, but there wasn't anything like crazy ridiculous, like 3rd and 20 or 3rd and 15s. So like you said, manageable, nothing that you can't achieve, nothing impossible, I would say, right?
Yeah. Can you do more interviews with Golden Corral? Make sure he isn't depressed. I believe he's our future quarterback. So when guys are on injured reserve, basically we can't talk to them. That's pretty much how that works. Maybe he wants to talk to me off site. That's possible.
Not even virtually?
If he wanted to, but me and Matt haven't hooked up where I got his number yet, so I can't even say that that's possible because the guy got hurt before open locker rooms were something that we were able to do and get close to these guys.
Yeah.
So I have seen him up close, and it doesn't look depressed. Looks quite fine. He had the little scooter that he was walking around. No, can't walk around, but he was, I guess, pushing around.
Right.
So he's a young guy. Lots of resources in the NFL. I don't think he's depressed. I feel like he's all right, and he certainly could be.
I mean, he's depressed about not being able to play, obviously.
But he's getting paid.
He's getting paid. Mentally, I feel like he's in a good spot, and he'll be working towards getting back on the field for next season. Is Chris tall? Or are you sure?
Man,
Chris is a pretty tall dude, not gonna lie.
This is what I'm going to invite you to do, Locks. I don't think you've ever been on a show to show your face, right? And on Mondays, we have our Ask Me Your Carolina Panthers question segment, where I say on Mondays, you guys can come on the show and ask a question. Locks, You need to come on the show. You need to show your face.
Is he one of those basement people that David Tepper's been talking
I don't
about?
know what he is, but I've never, like, you've never come on the show, Locks, and I love you to death, but if you're going to give us this hard of a time today,
okay,
you got to show your face,
well, to
right?
directly answer your question, so I'm 5'8", 5'9".
He's not short.
So, I mean, that's like average height for, like, an American. So, I mean, you know.
You're playing. Let's see.
Appreciate the question.
It felt like every drive stalled the moment we decided to pass. We would start drives with runs and get a couple of first downs, then miss a pass.
Yeah.
And get behind the sticks. Just keep running it, right?
I mean, they did establish a run game today. I mean, they didn't go away from it. I mean, the passing game, you know, could have been better. But, I mean, they did a really good job today of running the football. I mean, McCaffrey had over 100 yards rushing today on 25 carries. So, I mean, you know, you can't be upset about that. But, again, it's just a matter of just having that balance. And I think that's what they're still trying to figure out is, you know, what are we good at? What do we still need to work on? And right now, I would say up to this point, they're a pretty decent running team. And they want to establish that identity. That's something that Coach Rule has been talking about. We want to have an identity on offense, and I think that is what their identity is running it with C-Mac.
And statistically, we ran the ball today more than we passed the ball. Not overwhelmingly, but 31 rushes, 25 pass attempts. So
that's the kind of balance you want to have. You don't want to have one exceed over the other too much. And I think they were relatively balanced today when it comes to the play calling.
Yeah, you look at the Saints, they had 41 pass attempts and 22. So that was more of a three-quarter tilt. One way, three-quarter run, three-quarter pass, a quarter run for the Saints. So we were a little over 50% run pass. And one thing that, and us running the ball more than that would be, what am I going to say? Christian McCaffrey's been hurt for the past 2 seasons. So you want to protect Christian McCaffrey, right?
Yeah, what he said.
Because the first 2 games, like, the first game, we barely saw Christian at all in the first half.
And who do you blame for that? Do you blame the media to a degree about making that too much of a, like, point to discuss? Like, oh, is Christian McCaffrey getting too many carries? Or do you think that's like a coaching thing or maybe a little bit of both?
Well, anytime a guy's been hurt so much and he's missing basically 2 full seasons, you got to talk about his carries and keeping him healthy, because obviously when he's out there playing,
he's a difference maker.
He's a difference maker, and we've been successful as a team. When he's not been out there, it's been terrible.
It's been a different story.
I mean, let's look at this, and I just popped in my head while we're talking, all right? Christian McCaffrey today had his most carries so far this season. Again, I don't have the little thing in my ear, the guys in the truck to tell me the last time that he had
it's got to be, though,
these many carries, right?
Yeah.
But it was by far the most he's had this season, 25. Andre, you want to tell me the results of today's game?
Did we win? I believe we won.
Did we?
Yeah.
We won because Christian McCaffrey had the freaking ball 25 times, which I'm sure when they look back, because he talks about David Tepper wanted to make the hire for Matt Rule because he likes data analytics. He likes the science that he uses in coaching football teams.
So basically stats.
Basically stats. Talks about, hey, Christian McCaffrey ran top speed of this and he ran 3 miles today and all this. Pretty sure tonight they're going to get the report and say, holy crap, Christian McCaffrey he went way over.
He headed out of the ballpark.
Right. So they're going to probably, honestly, want to bring that back down. And, you know, I'm going to ask him tomorrow. I'm going to ask Coach Rule, Christian McCaffrey had 25 carries. Is that higher than you guys are comfortable with? Because I know you guys did that. Guarantee you watch it tomorrow. Well, I can't guarantee because I'm not sure if I can make the press conference. So
right.
I'm sorry.
But that is a question that is on the mind of not only just you, but I bet you a lot of people who are in that press conference asking about whether or not that is an appropriate amount of carries that he should have in a game or not.
It is appropriate because we win.
Yeah.
But is it sustainable?
That's the question right there. Is the sustainability aspect something that can be feasible for the team moving forward?
All right. So let me continue to walk through these. Let's see.
Donald Duck again. He's been really active. I've been seeing you, Donald Duck. Look at you.
I don't know what this question is.
Servo Army camera guy.
Don't get what you're saying there.
Not sure there.
Let's see.
Oh, get this guy right here. It's about Dante Foreman.
I'll let you handle it.
So let's see. So Buck NFL 55. Yes. On that note, I want Deontay Foreman to get some more run.
I feel like Ben Silly. Wonder how far this mic will work.
But the guy is a bruiser, so I mean, he makes a good point. He had a great year last year with the Titans. Do you think he should get more carries and diversify the running back situation? I mean, it's another one of those things where, like, we talked about it with Rashard Higgins earlier. Like, you bring him in for a reason. Why is he not in the game? And I feel like it's another one of those scenarios where I feel like you brought him in for a reason. So why are you not using him in your offense? Because, even the past 2 games, has he really been involved in the offense per se? I mean, he hasn't really had a whole lot of carries, has he?
All right, so we don't have the truck, but I do have some stats right in front of me. So today he had 0, right?
Yeah, he wasn't in the game at all today.
All right, so last week he had 2 carries.
For 9 yards.
Not too much there. And in week 1, he had 2
carries for 5 yards. So
he's not getting anything. And so Chuba, going in reverse, Chuba in game 1 had 1 carry. Let's see.
Against the Giants.
Chuba in game 2
didn't have any.
Did not have any.
It was just McCaffrey and Foreman in that game.
And then Chuba today had
3.
With
Foreman having no carries today. So, with him, he's specialized for short yardage situations, and I feel like they could have used him in short yardage situations today, like on that 4th and 1 call that they had in the 4th quarter when they were about to punt it back to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
I know it would have been a little risky, but that could have been an opportunity where maybe you put in Deontay Foreman in to see if he can pick up that first down at the end of the game. But there are definitely more opportunities where you could definitely put him in, because that's what he does. He's a pounder. He's somebody who has a lot of power to him. I mean, that was part of the reason why he complimented Derrick Henry so well last year in Tennessee, was just because he just had a lot of girth and a lot of power to him. So I feel like, that's something that McCaffrey doesn't really have, and he has gotten better about that, but that's something that he doesn't specialize in, like Foreman does. So there's definitely, I feel like, some opportunities where they can get him more involved in the play calls and in the offense.
I got a comment, and you can comment on this, and we'll wrap up, because I think I bet you did what this is show. Did you know? I just stuttered a little bit, but it's all right. Did you know
good, right?
that they use leaf blowers to clean up the stadium? So we're gonna.
Can y'all hear that in the background there?
They can probably hit it a little bit, but we're gonna try to get through before the leaf blower.
Better than the drums that they were hearing earlier
today, right? The drums were a challenge. So I'm an old man. I'm forgetting my thought. We were talking about Dante and other people getting involved. Here's a thought that just came to my mind about this, right? It's like, is Christian McCaffrey really our only good running back? And the others are not even worth that much? As in, like, maybe they've had a little shine, but overall they can't get the job done? Or does this coaching staff not have any faith in those other guys, right? Because you got through 3 games and nobody got more than 3 carries other than Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And then Christian McCaffrey didn't even get, in one game, I think maybe 10 carries himself. And it almost, to me, seems like, whether it's Rule, whether it's Ben McAdoo, may say, hey, these other guys, Dante, Chuba, they're special teams guys.
Blackshear, who they just brought in.
Yeah, they're special teams guys.
And they brought him in for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but there is an intention behind bringing him in there.
So maybe. So
there's an odd man out, just like with the receiving group that they have. There is an odd man out, and it's those 2 draft picks, Terrence Marshall and Chuba Hubbard. So it's kind of bizarre that they're already giving up on them, and they're only in their 2nd years. That to me is a little questionable, in my opinion.
So based on what I'm thinking here, the deal with, man, I'm stuttering today. Why am I stuttering? Christian McCaffrey being maybe the only person this coaching staff believes in.
Yeah.
Because the other backs through 3 games don't get more than 3 carries.
Which is bizarre.
So is it that in which they don't believe in Christian McCaffrey? Or, I'm sorry, that they only believe in Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah.
And that's why we got the new guy coming in, and he's going to get, for once, 5 carries in the game. What are your thoughts? I'll wrap it up on that. I'll let you take that, though.
Well, like I said from the beginning, you have your reasons for why you bring people in. And when you draft people, there is an intention behind why you feel like they should be drafted here to Carolina. So I want to specifically talk about, like, with him and Terrace Marshall. Like, I don't understand why you're already cutting the leash already, specifically on Terrace Marshall, too, because, I mean, for one, he hasn't even played a whole lot of games. So you can't really, like, make a judgment off of somebody based off of practice. That, to me, you know, there's a fine line there, and I think you learn the best when you're actually in the game and playing in the game. So I don't know if they're jumping off the ship a little too quickly for my liking, but like with the move with Blackshear, I don't know. I mean, it's getting a little too crowded for me in that backfield when you already had people in there for their supposed purpose for why they were, you know, brought in the first place.
Is that it?
That's it. But it's a very thought-provoking conversation because who knows how they handle everything behind McCaffrey moving forward.
Okay.
We'll be watching, I'll tell you that.
We're going to wrap it up. I've still been holding my head like this. I don't know why. We're going to wrap it up on that question right there. We've been at it for about 50 minutes. I hope you all enjoyed the show. We enjoyed your questions. Please continue to subscribe, talk to us, and don't forget tomorrow is your Ask Me Your Carolina Panthers questions. It's an hour-long segment dedicated just to answering whatever questions you have, except for Locksman. I'm not answering any more questions.
Oh, you've had plenty today, so
until he comes on the show,
it shows his face, right?
And ask me whatever questions that he wants to ask. Until then, Locks, you're on timeout. But sincerely enjoy everybody that joins in to these broadcasts. Subscribe, like, turn on the bell notifications. And we're going to continue, me and Andre are going to continue to bring you all the content that we can. Yes, we got a victory, and that's a good thing. So for Andre Cassidy, I'm Chris Jenkins, Charlotte Vibe, covering the Carolina Panthers. Thank you much, and everybody enjoy your Sunday evening.